Any good social norm conversation has to start with behaviors because social norms drive behaviors, but they are not the same thing. A behavior is an action. It's a thing we do. So brushing your teeth, tying your shoelaces, those are both behaviors. Similarly, a teacher demanding a bribe in order for a student to get their report card, or a hiring manager requiring sex to secure a job, those are also behaviors. And the vast majority of anti-corruption efforts also require people to take action. So a lot of anti-corruption is actually behavioral as well. Think about calling a government hotline to report corruption. That's a behavior. So what influences how we behave? Well, many things interact to influence how we behave. Laws, procedures, attitudes, knowledge, as well as social norms. What influences behavior? So many things influence behavior, and one of which are social norms. And social norms are the mutual expectations held within a group about the appropriate and typical way to behave in a particular situation. Now, it's important to realize they're not attitudes, they're not synonymous with culture, and they're not just practices commonly done. They are mutual expectations. And when there is a social norm that is driving behavior, they can be more powerful than your individual attitude or even the laws and rules that exist in that context. And what that means is when a social norm exists, it can make you do things you don't agree with or that you know are breaking the rules. And the research from other fields finds that if there is a norm behind the behavior, you will not be able to achieve sustainable behavior change if you only direct your programming on the behavior. You have to also seek to change the social norm. So what are these mutual expectations? They're made up of two different beliefs. They're the beliefs about what others do and the beliefs about what others think we should do. And these beliefs are not just anybody's beliefs. They're the beliefs of the people in your group. And it's that group that helps create the social norm and maintain the social norm. And they do that through positive and negative rewards or punishments for your behavior. So when you comply with the social norm, you are met with a greater sense of belonging, which could be as simple as a nod of acknowledgement, being included in activities. It could feel an increased sense of respect. But when you do not comply with the mutual expectation of the group, you will be negatively punished. And those punishments typically revolve around relationships or reputation. And that can be gossiping. It can be being excluded from functions, events, even as small as a lunch. And in a professional environment, it can also include being demoted or having professional negative consequences. So it's this group that creates and maintains the expectations. The group, you might know them. They might be all people you have personal relationships with. So your football team, people in your office, your extended family. But it can also be those you share an identity with, but you don't actually know personally. So it could be all the fans of a football club. It could be the alumni of a university, and it could be all women. So what this means is that we are all part of multiple groups at the same time, which means we're all experiencing multiple norms at the same time. You might be a mother, you might be a lawyer, you might be a member of the parent council of your kid's school. Each of those groups will have mutual expectations about the right way to behave. And this means that you might experience different pressures because sometimes those norms can align. So the groups all expect the same thing. And when that happens, it can really strengthen the pressure behind that particular behavior. But it can also be, when you're a member of multiple groups, that those norms contradict. Now, some literature says that when there's a contradiction, it's the group that has most salience or most relevance to the particular context. So that would mean if you're in a work environment, your work group norm would be more important than, say, maybe your religious community norm. But we found it's not quite so straightforward in our work. And what we found is that people, when they are experiencing contradicting norms from two different groups, They juggle and adapt and try and meet both norms in just different ways.